Hey, what's up everybody? I am in Harper's Ferry. Let me show you around the town. So I'm staying there tonight in a little bunk room at the bottom. All of these buildings are super old, from the 1800s. This is one of the first towns on this part of the country. And so it's really loud. There's a train going by. There's a Harley going by. But look at this place. All these buildings are super old. Up there is called Jefferson Rock. It's a place where Thomas Jefferson stood and looked across the Potomac and the Shenandoah rivers, which I'll be able to show you in just a minute. And he said that the view up there was worth crossing the Atlantic for, which, I don't know, the view wasn't that great, but maybe the view was better back in his day. Because now there's just a bunch of bridges and trains and old looking buildings, but it's a really cool place. My only complaint is that there is no, really nothing modern here, which makes sense, but that means there's no grocery stores, there's no all-you-can-eat buffets, there's nowhere good to resupply, so you have to take a bus all the way out to I don't know, some city. Charlestown? I think it's Charlestown. But there's a Civil War museum. Been having a good couple of days. Stumpy, Jillian, my girlfriend, just got on a train to go back to Columbia, Missouri. And now I'm by myself again. Look, the AT actually crosses right through the middle of town. So the AT comes down from that way, so that way is south. This way is north. And see that little stone obelisk building thing? That is where John Brown led his rebellion a few years before the Civil War started, and they took over an armory over there and killed a bunch of people, and it was a big deal back then. That's all I remember from the plaque that I read. So you have all this old-timey town stuff. We'll go over to the river because it's pretty cool. And look at this bridge up here. I guess they had a fire last year which destroyed several buildings down here, and they're still rebuilding, so there's a bunch of construction, and it's like half the businesses are closed all the time. So that is also annoying. So at least overall, Harper's Ferry hasn't been what I expected, but it's been pretty cool still, and just really pretty, really historic. There's the place where John Brown had his revolution. Let's see what's been going on the last few days. Stayed at a shelter the last night out before we got to Harper's Ferry. It was about 8 miles out from Harper's Ferry. It was the David Lesser Memorial Shelter, and that place was kind of creepy. It's a really nice shelter. They have decks and Adirondack chairs and swings and a big pavilion for you to cook in. But look at this train. But during the night, had some strangeness going on. Alright, I'm going to walk underneath because you're not going to be able to hear me at all. So, I hope you can hear me. The train is really loud behind me. Ooh, this is really pretty. So during the night there at that shelter, alright, that train is really distracting. So the shelter was pretty normal at first, but in the night when we went to bed, Jillian thought she saw something underneath me, like a light glowing underneath me, so she thought that I had accidentally turned my headlamp on, which actually happens quite a bit, but I hadn't. My headlamp was secured away and couldn't figure out what that light was, so she just saw a flash of light underneath me. And then all night I kept hearing something like a rock banging noise, and that kept waking me up. So like someone banging a rock together is what I heard. And in the morning when we compared notes, Jillian actually had a really poor night's sleep as well, and she had recurring nightmares. Just every time she fell asleep, she'd have a terrible nightmare, and actually had one nightmare or had a dream about one of her friends who had died in a car accident. So it was just really kind of strange. And then in the morning I went to go get water. So the spring there is about a quarter of a mile away, pretty far away. So I went down and to get water, and she heard this loud howling noise, like a ooh, ooh, ooh. Probably not doing it very well, but that sort of noise, like over and over again from the direction of the spring. She thought I was making that noise, messing with her, but I definitely didn't make that noise, and I didn't hear it at all when I was going down there. So I really don't know what that noise was either, but you know, rock banging and a weird howling are kind of two signs of Bigfoot. So maybe there was a Bigfoot around. Oh, and during the night I just felt kind of creeped out, and I felt like something was around the shelter. That was more of a gut feeling. So I just heard the knocking sounds, but I felt like something was kind of prowling around the shelter. And so this is a confluence of the Shenandoah right here. That's the Shenandoah River, and then the Potomac River right here. And then you have the train tracks, and they all feed together. I'm not sure what river that is over there, but it's getting close to sunset. A really beautiful view. So let's go walk along on the train tracks. See what else happened. I met a guy named Wildman. He's an old guy hiking. He was gonna through hike, but he decided he's just gonna go another couple hundred miles and call it that, because he's not going too far. Partly because at a shelter about 2 or 3 weeks back, him and another hiker got attacked by the skunks. So he woke up in the shelter to a skunk biting him, and then he kicked the skunk away, and then the skunk ran and bit another hiker through his tent. So then they had to get a bunch of rabies shots, because they couldn't, they didn't catch the skunk, of course. So, and if a skunk is running around in a shelter biting people, it's probably rabid. And here comes another train. So that's been my last few weeks. It took us a while to get from Waynesboro to Harper's Ferry, but that's okay. It's nice to have some breaks and not be going for 12 hours a day. And now I'm going to be taking actually this rail right here all the way out to Washington, D.C. Then I'm going to go up to Maine, Summit, Katahdin, and then come on down south and walk another roughly 1,200 miles all the way back to Harper's Ferry. At which point I'm going to buy a bike and then ride that bike all the way home to Missouri, hopefully mostly on trails, and that'll be a nice change of pace from the slow walking. But everything's going really well. A lot of people that I know who were planning to do a through hike have cut their hike short at the halfway point here in Harper's Ferry. Just a few others I know, November shattered. They're continuing north, and then everyone else that I met are mostly flipping like I'm doing now, just because the weather gets really bad up in the Whites and up north, when it gets to September, October time, and that's when we would be getting up there. So instead of dealing with all that weather and facing the danger of it, I'll just go up north now, enjoy it while it's nice. 70 degrees up in those mountains, come on down and just avoid all the terrible, dangerous. Well, so my phone died on me, but that was about the end of my thoughts anyway. So I'll just end this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Next time you see me, I will probably be up north in Maine. There's going to be some spectacular views coming up. Some in Katahdin coming down. There's the 100-mile wilderness in Maine. I get to go through all of the Presidential Mountains and the Whites and just see some really, really big views. So really excited about that. Halfway there pretty much, and then just another 1,200 miles to go. Staying strong, everything feels good. I've been eating a ton, just absolutely destroying like Last night I had, no, 2 nights ago I had almost 2 whole pizzas to myself, and my food bag is the biggest out here on the trail. I have 35 liters, and I tend to fill that up most times when I leave towns, but it's been worth it. I think I'm only down less than 5 pounds, so overall that's pretty good, because most people lose on average between 15 and 25 pounds on their trips, so I'm only down 5 pounds at the halfway point, and I'm pretty stable, so I shouldn't lose too much more weight. That's been really nice. So thanks for watching, everybody. Where I'm at right now, I am in the hostel that I showed you at the beginning of the video. It's a really cool little place, so I'm kind of in the basement here. You can see those walls, they're 2 feet thick. This was probably built in the early or mid 1800s, and it's just a cool building. I have the whole place to myself, actually. So there's 6 bunks down here, and I'm the only person here, so it's really nice. Alright, I hope everybody's doing well. I love to read your comments, so leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I try to answer them as best as I can. I get to towns every 5 days or so, and then I'll have internet, and I'll answer your questions. So thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day.